Is it possible to create passive income using an automated crypto trading bot? Well, everyone that I've tried that other people have made have not worked for me, so I thought I'd try and make my own. And I know I've tried making one in the past that didn't work, but hopefully this one should work better. This one's made in Python, so stick around and I'll show you how I made it, and then we'll look at the source code. So I made this new bot in Python, and a few of you might have seen in my last video that I did about this, that I tried to do a trading bot in PHP using the Coinbase API, and it just never really made anything. I think the main reason was that I started it in a bear market, and the way that that bot worked was that it looked at the average price, and if it went below the average, it would buy, and then it would, if it went a certain amount above the average, it would sell a certain amount. So I've kind of come up with a new strategy, which I want to talk you through and see if you think that it's going to work or not. I've literally just been making it in the last couple of days, so I'm going to have to do a follow-up video to see if it actually works or not, but I just want to talk you through how I made it and see if you guys have got any suggestions on how I could improve it, and feel free to like steal this and use it yourself and see if you can improve it. I'd love to see what you can do with it. So basically, I found this library for Python, which is a wrapper around the Coinbase Pro API. And it's just a really nice, simple way to interact with the API, because I'm not sure if any of you have tried using the Coinbase API, but there's quite a complicated authentication process to go through. So what I've done is I've got my file here, and I've just copied the file but taken out any of my credentials so that they don't get put on YouTube. And I'm just going to talk you through what it does. So it starts here. We set the balance of 0, and in this video I'm going to be talking in British pounds, but I'm tempted to change it to US dollars because there's more cryptocurrencies that you can trade with on USD on Coinbase Pro, which I'm going to show you in a second. So this is like a while true, so that it just runs forever. Once you've started it, it'll just carry on running. So like you can see here, it's just constantly going through, checking every single crypto that I've put in the list and seeing what the 24-hour change is. So first thing it tries to do is grab the balance of my British pound account. So if we look in Coinbase Pro, so this is my account. It's got £25 in it. So it's seeing there, like there's basically what I do is I make it buy £1 of whatever crypto it decides to buy every time. So the first thing it needs to do is decide, is there £1 in the account, and if not, it's just going to ignore it and wait, because there's no point checking the prices if there's no money to buy the crypto. So if it's less than 1, it'll just sleep for 10 seconds, and then it just cuts all this rest part of this loop out and goes back to seeing if the balance has increased or not. So if the balance goes above 1 and it detects it, I send myself a notification on my iPhone, and the way that I'm doing this is with ifthatthenthenthis.com. I'm not sure if you've seen it, but I'll just quickly show you. Yeah, so you can basically do an iOS notification. So you download the If That Then This app on your iPhone, and using this webhook and the iPhone notification joined together, you can just hit an endpoint and it will fire a notification on your iPhone with the data that you send it. So basically, I've got a function here that just hits that URL. I've just taken my key out. You just put your own key in there, and then it just sends it the title and the description. So at any point in this bot, I can just send a notification really easy by just calling notification title description, and I'll get that on my iPhone, which is really nice to see. Like when you're doing something else through the day and you just can see the bot buying and selling, it's really cool. So once it detects that the balance has increased, it can go past this part and start checking all of the different currencies that I want it to check. So basically, this is my list of what it's going to go through every time in the loop. And as I said, for the USD, there's a lot more that you can go through, but I'll just quickly show you. So it's basically all of these that I've put in. Well, most of these. I took some out because I didn't like the sound of it. I didn't want to be stuck holding crypto if the bear market happens again. I'd rather have it in some good coins than ones that could just never come back. But as you can see, for USD, the list is so much longer, so there'd be more chance of trading more consistently and making more money if I change it to USD. So I might do that soon. So basically, it looks at all these different currencies on the GBP. So I've just added all these labels in. So for example, the first one, it would send for Ethereum. So if we go to check symbol, so the first thing is it spits out the check-in. So you can see that it's just check-in. I can explain at the end how I did the colours, but it's not really that important for this. So each time it's doing this check, it's going through that loop, the check symbol function. So the first thing that we do is check the ticker to get product ticker. Yeah, so this, if we just look at the API, so it's literally just like the latest details for that product. So what we do is, from this information, we can get the current price, and then I output that into this little info. So you can get the current price there, and then we check the balance again, so that if we decide that we do want to buy it, we need to make sure that there is balance there to do it. I know we checked that at the start of that loop, but I just wanted to make sure for definite that there would be balance there. And then we output the balance underneath, so it's just price, balance, and then after that we do the 24-hour change. So we do, if the balance is more than £1, because I'm going to be buying £1 if I decide that I want to buy it. And then I've got another function here that decides if it should buy or not. So let's have a look at that. So the should buy, the first thing we do is get the 24-hour change on the crypto price. So I actually found this on Stack Overflow that someone had already done. So it basically tells you the 24-hour change. And the first check that I do to decide whether I want to buy or not is if it's gone down at least 4% in the last 24 hours. Because my thinking behind this is, when you look at the fees, I need to make sure that I'm at least getting this fee back. So 4%, even if it goes back to zero and I sell at zero change, that's 4%. So if you take off 1% there, if it charges 1%, that's 3% profit. So that should work out okay. Obviously, you could do it less than that, but I just wanted to make sure, for another reason that I'll speak about in a second. So after it gets past that, if it's not less than 4% in the change, it will just return false, so it won't buy. So it needs to have dropped at least 4% to get past this section. And then if it has dropped more than 4%, we check if the last price was higher than the price before that. So this is where this bot differs slightly from the last one that I did. So I wanted to make sure that for example, in a bear market, the price is always going down. So this is going to check that the price has gone back up, even though it might be down 5% in the last 24 hours. If this price is higher than the last price, and the last price is higher than the price before that, and then I also do a price for the 5 minutes as well ago. So that tells me that the price has dropped 5%, and now it's either flattened out or it's going to go back up again. So so if it passes all these checks, it has to match on all these. So the current price has to be higher than the minute ago price, and the minute ago price has to be higher than 2 minutes ago, and then it has to be higher than 5 minutes ago. So that just means it's gradually going back up. And it might not always be the case that it's going to go straight back up and sell straight away, but it seems to be working a lot better than what it did on the last bot. So if we go back to that check, so this should buy has returned true, and we want to buy, and then put I'll explain how I sell it afterwards as well. So it's really easy using this wrapper API to just buy £1 British of whatever the symbol. It gets the symbol from that function, so that would be like the BTC GBP. So it would buy like £1 of Bitcoin, for example, and then wait 10 seconds because we're doing this as a market order, which it might not make much sense to a lot of people, but it didn't to me actually before I started looking at this. But if we look at this on the trading tab, you got these two options, market or limit. So when you do a market order, it means you're buying it and you want it now, and you're not bothered about paying a little bit more fees. Usually, like, the fees for a market order are higher than the limit order because you're just taking some cryptocurrency that's there waiting to be bought. So because we want to buy this like instantly at that price, we don't want it to like go higher and then buy it. So we want it to be like instant straight away. So that does a market order to buy £1 British of the currency that it's checking at that time. So if we look at this, it just does an output of which currency it's buying and the details of that of the order. So that's this part here where it buys it, and then this has literally just changed in the last day or two when I noticed something was going wrong with what was happening. So when you do a market order, you might not buy, say if you buy £1 of Bitcoin, for example, you might not buy the whole pound in one order. It sometimes comes in like 50p of BTC and then another 50p of BTC if two different people are selling at that price and they've only got less like half a pound, then it does two different ones to two different people. So initially what I was doing was I was looking at the buy order and just copying the same amount of cryptocurrency and then just increasing the sale price by like 4% or something, or 3%, and then just selling that same amount. But in that example where it's split into two, you're only going to be selling like 50% of what you've bought. So you're going to have 50% sat there in your BTC account that's never going to get sold then. So I'm not sure if I've got any examples of this, but so if we go in the filled one, you'll see like the bot's been, so this, there are a few where it gets really weird and starts doing it too many times. So on the buy ones, you can click into it. So that one did it in one transaction, so that would have been fine. That one, yeah, there's probably not going to be an example where it does two, but so for some on the buy, you'd have two here. So instead of size being 0.5, it'd be 0.25, and there'd be two of them. So basically what I'm having to do there is I'm getting the latest orders from my account, and before I buy the crypto, I set a start date, and then this gets the latest filled orders from that start date. So we're only getting the ones that we've just bought. So this is just saying I could actually add a bit more there. I've just thought to say which side, so it only show me the buy side. But this returns like all of those buy orders, even if it's been split down into multiple ones. So if we go back to where we were, so this loops through each of those buy orders, and it gets the details, and then it sets the size of how much crypto you want to sell as the same as what it bought. So say if there's 3 orders to buy £1 worth of crypto, this is going to go through and make 3 orders to sell, but just at a slightly higher price. And we don't want to do this one as a market order, because if we did it as a market order, it would just sell it straight away. So what we're doing here is we're going to do a limit order, and I can just show you this as an example. So if we go on sell in Coinbase Pro, if we were doing it as a market order, you could just say how much of the crypto you want to sell. Well, let's just go on Bitcoin, so it's easy to show. So if we wanted to sell £1 worth of Bitcoin, you have to define how much Bitcoin you sell, and it just sells at the price that it is. So here it'd be 37,984. So it would sell at that price, but we want to define a price that we want to sell at that's got that extra bit of profit in it. So we do a limit order. So this gets around me having to save everything in a database. Like this bot doesn't need a database to operate, which is nice. So you can literally just fire it up. Like I'm going to try and run it on my Raspberry Pi later on today, and then I can just leave it like out of the way and not touch it, because at the minute I'm having to run my laptop with this on. But so for example, for this, like if we'd bought at this price, we'd just put the amount of Bitcoin here that we bought the same. So if we look, I don't think we've got. So just some examples here. So if the size was this, you just put that size on the buy side. So if it had bought this, you'd put that straight back on the amount there. So that's how much Bitcoin you want to sell. And then say if you'd bought it for £1, you'd put like 1.03. So that's like your 3% profit. And we do post only, because I think that's better for the fees. So it's saying that you want to take it when it's available, and not. I think that just cuts out the extra fees. But like I say, I'm not an expert in trading. Like I'm still learning all this stuff. So if you know about, if something I've said in this video is wrong and you know that it's wrong, just let me know in the comments, because I would like to learn whatever people can teach me. So if we go back to the bot, and then so we've put the size in, so the same size as what we bought we're going to sell, and then we set the price at 3% higher than what we bought it, so it gets the price that it is now from that check that we did at the start, and then it just times that by 1.03, which gives you your 3%. And obviously we're paying those fees, remember? So so at the worst case scenario, it's going to be 1% fee, like 0.5% for buying and half for selling. So we want to at least make more than 1% to be able to make a profit at all. So at the worst case scenario, this is going to make us 2% profit if we buy and then sell. So this is quite cool, because like it just stays in your order book. So if we go back to Coinbase Pro, so these are my currently open orders. So it's bought some of these cryptos and then added the 3% on, and then they're just there waiting to sell. So as soon as these cryptos get to this the price here that we've set, like it will just sell automatically, and then the balance will update, and it'll just start checking again to buy more. But it's nice doing it this way at £1. Someone asked me like, why are you doing it at £1 at a time and not like for example buying 28? If you got £28, why are you not buying £28 at a time? But it's a bit like dollar cost averaging, when people buy in every day at a dollar or a pound. Like you're constantly just doing a pound. Say for example, if I bought $28 of one crypto, that money's like locked up then until that crypto gets to the price that we want to sell it at. But if we're doing it a pound at a time or a dollar at a time, you might buy and sell $1, but the rest of the money might be locked up, but that $1 can still be working, and you might make like 100 trades that day just with that $1 going in and out. So I think that works quite well. Like you could even lower it more, so it's like doing it with less than a pound or a dollar, which I might try and just see, because that might even work better, like just to average it out even more. So once it's put that sell order in, it just sends me a notification to my phone just saying bought this crypto at this price, and it's going to sell at this price. And then if there's an error, I put it in an exception, because sometimes you get errors now and again, and I didn't want any errors to just take the bot out, because if you get an error it just stops the code, and I want this to keep checking no matter what happens. So that just prevents like any errors with putting that order in to sell, like stopping the bot altogether. And then that's pretty much it really. It'd just move on to the next one. So that was Ethereum, then it'd go on to Bitcoin, and then it'd just carry on through all this list, and then once it gets to the bottom, checks the balance. If it's still over 1, then it goes through them all again. So yeah, I can't think of anything else at the minute. I'm gonna let it run for like a month maybe. So it's actually quite hard to record how well it's doing unless all the money goes back into your like pound account or into the dollar account, because each crypto can go up and down. So this like value here doesn't really give you a good example of what, it's not very representative of what the actual value is in pounds until you get it all back into your British pound account. So if we just say, so the date today, 24th of December, so if we just say nearly £29 there, and then I'll leave it for a month and we'll see where it's up to. But yeah, if you like this kind of video, like I'm going to be trying to do a few more like crypto videos and passive income ideas like this. So if that's something that interests you, then make sure you subscribe and like this video, because that really helps. And I'm going to try and start doing a few more videos. I know I've not done one for a long time, but just life has been pretty hectic recently. But yeah, I've got another video idea that is going to be coming up next, like mining cryptocurrency on. I bought this a Rock Pi 4, which is like a single board computer with a good processor in it. So I'm going to try and mine some Monero on that, but on a solar powered setup. So if that interests you, then make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell, and you should see a notification when that video goes live. But yeah, that's it from me, and I'll see you in the next video.